Hi Virgo, welcome to your reading for Sagittarius season. We're gonna do something a little more basic. We are gonna do a past, present, and future spread for Sagittarius season. And then we're gonna dive into what the past is, what currently is going on in the present, and what could potentially happen in the future. Remember, everything is in your control. So I feel like I should keep that in mind for you. If you're new, welcome to the Witch Switch, where we switch off everyday normal life and switch on to the witchery. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you again for joining me. So I'm going to pull these cards and then we'll dive into it, okay? And as I pull them, I just want to announce that if you want a personal reading with me, in-person reading, follow me on Instagram. I usually post events of where I'll be at, especially if you live in the New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania area. Please keep a lookout and visit me. I love doing personals. I've done a lot of readings for first-timers, so I'm pretty gentle, okay? It's not scary. Remember, this is all just cardboard. You are in charge of your own destiny, okay? But if you're not in the area and you happen to land on my page, then my link is below and you can, connect with me and we can do like an online Zoom reading together. Okay? All right, Virgo. We picked out our 3 cards here. So let's see what the cards have to say for you. So your past situation, we have the moon. Your present situation, the sun. Beautiful. And the future, we have the Page of Cups. To me, it's a whole new beginning. It's reemerging with our childlike innocence. It's being able to find purity in the smallest of things. Clarity, even for most of us. Right now, we're going through a time where perhaps some of us are really looking forward to the holidays. Okay? It's the time of year where, I guess, feels magical for some of us. It does bring in some memories from childhood. We get to reconnect with that aspect of ourselves. So I think this is a really great turnout. The moon is all about things that have been hidden from us, things that were unexpected, things that we had to emotionally either feel through or understand. And the sun provides clarity in the things that we couldn't find understanding in or didn't know how to process through, okay? So when things were dark and there was only a little bit of light, now the sun has completely taken over that. All right, so what do we have here? We have the Queen of Swords to the Page of Cups, where we have the Page of Cups in the future. I think in the past you had to make a head and heart decision here. It was either go by something that you've always known to be true ever since you were a kid, or to be an adult about something and to have to be realistic. Something tells me you took the realistic approach. Okay, your back is facing this whole entire dynamic. So perhaps you had to save your reputation. Perhaps you felt like you didn't make a decision that was based on who you were as a person, but based on rules, obligations, and being very practical minded. With the air and earth can be similar when it comes to decision making. The only difference is that one does it out of practicality and realism, and the other element, which is air, makes decisions based on being logical and not factoring emotions into the equation. It's seeing things long term. You made a decision based on probably what was benefit for other people instead of yourself. Okay? And I feel like there needed to be some self-awareness about that in the past. This was something that was unexpected, something that you did not anticipate. And it was probably something that forced you to make a very quick decision. And you chose to decide based on either other people and their expectations and their needs, or having to be really practical and probably thinking in terms of longevity, security, stability, but it wasn't in tune with who you are as a person. For the sun, we have the 2 of Swords in the reverse, we have the 4 of Cups, and we have the 4 of Pentacles. So now we see a string of 4s. 4s are all about security and stability and structure. The Two of Swords in the reverse indicates that whatever decision you made in the past is still affecting you now, but I don't think it's one that you regret. But if you were to do it again, you would probably go with a decision that benefits you more internally and as far as what you truly believe in. I think a part of you, there's a sense of whimsicalness that you kind of keep hidden, that perhaps you don't express as much, or perhaps there is a responsibility for you to always have to consider other people, their well-being on top of yours. So there's no room for imagination. There's no room to be emotionally vulnerable. There's no room to be lighthearted. Okay, and silly, and just a space for you to kind of cater into when you're not being your responsible self or having to take care of other people. Okay? Excuse me, I just woke up a little while ago, so I'm gonna be clearing my throat a lot. So, the Sun. There is an opportunity for a reconciliation if it has to do with this decision, or you find that the past may be coming back. We just finished the retrograde in Sagittarius, and it is Sagittarius season. The Sun is in Sagittarius. So this is an opportunity to either reconcile something again, probably having a new philosophy on how you want your life or the relationships to be in your life. It's finally seeing what has value. Your ways of considering value has changed, I would say. I think you want to cater more into certain connections and certain collaborations that provide more security rather than you taking on the responsibility yourself. So it's also allowing other people's influence into your life. It's not so much you having the responsibility to handle everything on your own, because we all know you love things to be done in a certain way. But I think you're realizing there's a sense of loneliness that comes with it when you don't allow people in. So that's where I feel like certain reconciliations can take place. It's having room for the people that you care about. It's having room for and space for people that you realize were there for your best interest. And instead you probably pushed them away, or you were in a space to think that you knew everything and how your mind works is the right way of doing things. Your perception, your opinions, your ideas, that's the way it is. There's no wiggle room. But the thing is that you're an adaptable sign. You can absolutely accept other people's opinions and other people's ways of doing things. And they don't have to intimidate or your ways of doing things. Like, there can be a sense of collaboration. So I do see that here. There is collaboration within your connections and your ability to be more open. Now let's see what the Page of Cups in the future is. And to me also, if you were to be able to reconcile and allow people in your space without feeling intimidated or feeling insecure about them doing things better or them taking over the way you do things, I think there could be an opportunity for you to be much lighter in your heart space. It's accepting the collaboration. It's realizing that, the people that care about you really do want to see you succeed, and it's nothing that they don't have anything against you. Sometimes people express themselves differently than you, and that's okay. All right. So we have here the Seven of Wands in reverse, the Knight of Swords in the reverse, and the Ace of Cups. To me, this tells me there's no more anxiety, there's no more stress, because it's not on you anymore. Now you're able to delegate the stress. You're allowing other people to hold responsibility or to take charge in ways that you can't do by yourself. So there's an acceptance of collaboration. There's no need to fight against anything. A level of trust has been built. And because that level of trust has been built, there is room for reciprocity. There is room for love. There is room for exchange. There is room for you to be your silly, fun, natural self. When you're stressed out, you cannot indulge in the Page of Cups here. Instead, you could be pretty rigid. Instead, you could be bossy. Instead, you can kind of rub people the wrong way. You know, that anger doesn't get filtered. Instead, it comes out onto others. And I think you know this. So it's a need of channeling our emotional space and, allowing other people to help us and not feeling overwhelmed by responsibilities. Okay. So in order for you to build structure and stability in your life, you got to let people in. Okay, you can't control everything. That's impossible. And if you strive for perfection, you're only going to disappoint yourself in the end. And you're just going to burn bridges along the way. So we don't want to do that in Sag season. Instead, we want to be open-minded to the opinions of others and to the help that we're given from other people. It's finding gratitude in the connections we currently have and allowing them in our heart space. That's basically what it is. Okay, but if you want to still act like the Queen of Swords and kind of turn your back on everyone around you because they don't see things the way that you do, they don't do things the same manner that you do, you kind of put down their opinions, you probably think you know it all, like that kind of arrogance is not going to get you far. Instead, everything that you want to manifest and wish for will actually come out in ways that you did not anticipate. Things will kind of like blow up in your face a little bit. So we need to kind of be a little more fluid. We got to water the earth. If you don't, it becomes too hard. Then nothing grows and there's nothing but death and dryness. And you don't want that. Remember, you are adaptable to your environment. So if you're not around people that can nurture you and uplift you, then start putting yourself in that space. Instead, start nurturing yourself first so the right people also come to you as well. And that also includes finding the time and space to also feed that little boy or that little girl that you have inside of you. Perhaps some of you were neglected as a child. Perhaps some of you didn't get your needs met. You weren't heard. Okay, you weren't valued. These are things that you can provide for yourself. And once you do that, the right people will come along, Virgo. You don't have to feel alone in anything. So we're going to pull out some oracle cards to see what the messages lie for you and how you can anticipate this. So we have wisdom. And we have blossoming. So, the wisdom that I just laid out in front of you, you can absolutely grow and blossom from it. You just got to give people and things a chance. Okay? I believe that this reading is all about being open to collaborations and just delegating the workload. So then you can be in a space of happiness and giddiness and silliness. And I feel like that is the best aspect of your personality sometimes, Virgo. There's that really responsible, needing to get things done aspect of your personality. And then there's the silly one that loves to have fun, that loves to just not worry about things. And you could just be your absolute self. And that's a space that you should get into more often. And when you allow the right people to come in, you don't have to worry so much and take on so much responsibility alone because you have people that you trust that can help lift the load. So I'm going to bring out some prompt cards. These cards are really good in terms of reflecting certain aspects of ourselves in our lives. So this is a good exercise. So let me know in the comments what you think. What is the worst feeling in the world? And what aspects of yourself do you hide from others? What reasons do you have for doing so? I feel like this definitely goes with having to feel like you have to take those responsibilities, those burdens, having to hide your vulnerability from other people. Like, what is the reason? Why do you do that? Maybe that can kind of help alleviate some of the stress that you may be going through. All right, Virgo, I'm going to leave that there. I feel like your reading is pretty simple. Trust a little bit more, but also have trust within yourself to know that the people you do invite in are the ones that can carry the load and can help you out. If you are suspecting or discerning certain people, then just know that this is the time for you to burn away certain connections, burn away the bridges. That's what Sag season is about. For some of you, if you have Scorpio moon, because we just left Scorpio season, you'll start to realize that there's certain people or situations in your life that are just not aligned with you in your values, in your belief system. And that's okay. It's time to let go and to allow things to die out. And whatever remnants of that carries into Sag season, you're meant to burn them away. Because by Capricorn season, which is a fellow earth sign like yourself, you're meant to be in a position of power and status and glory and reputation. So let's kind of get all of that into motion here. So then by Capricorn season, you can carry out the responsibilities with a lot of authority. But it's authority that is respected and earned by not only yourself, but from others. All right, Virgo, I will leave that there. This is your reading for Sag season. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.